Hi everyone. So today we are going to have a nice practice for the lower back, nice and gentle. We are going to strengthen our inner thighs, we're going to strengthen our core, and find a stretch through the front of the hips. What you'll need for class today is a strap or something strap-like, so a belt or a handkerchief or even a shirt so that you can wrap something around your foot. And then a pillow or just something that you can sit up on. All right, so to get started today, we're going to lie on our backs. So feet are wherever feels comfortable right now. So it might be a little bit wider than hip distance apart or a little bit narrower. And I just want you to take some time here to release your back into the floor. Begin to come into your breath. So nice inhales through the nose and exhales out through the nose or the mouth. And as we breathe, we're not only breathing into the front of the body, but I also want you to concentrate breathing into the sides and the back of your body as well. Nice full breaths here. And as you continue to breathe, I want you to feel your shoulders relaxing into the floor. Feel your hips releasing into the ground. Feel your feet on the floor. And now I want you to pay special attention to the pelvis. So making sure the pelvis is rooted into the floor. And I want you to make sure that the lower back isn't completely pressed into the ground, but you're honoring the natural curve of your spine. So hips are down, but there is a little bit of a gap between your lower back and the floor. Plant into your left foot, and we're going to draw the right knee in towards our chest. Nice and easy. So if you notice that your right hip has come off the ground, I want you to back off a little bit. And then from here, just begin to shift your right knee from side to side. Make sure shoulders and back of the head are still on your mat. And then bring that right knee to center. Slowly, we're going to extend through our left leg. So that left leg does not have to come to full straight if that feels uncomfortable for the back. You can have the left knee bent and the left heel digging into the mat. Or you can bring it to straighten. Your choice. Make sure that the left foot is flexed towards the ceiling. Again, if you're feeling any discomfort in the lower back or the hips are beginning to lift off the floor, then we're just going to bend that left knee. We're not striving for perfection, we're striving for what feels good in your body. One more deep breath here. Good, and then we're going to come to the other side. So bring right foot down to the floor, draw the left knee in towards your chest. Again, notice if your hips have started to come off the floor. We want to keep them down. We want to have a little bit of space between our lower back and the mat. From here, slowly begin to stretch through that right leg. Again, it can stay bent or lengthen all the way down your mat. Right toes are flexed towards the ceiling. And then come back to your breath, everyone. Relax the muscles around your face. Soften your shoulders. One more breath, everyone. Good, and then bring both feet back to the floor, roughly hip distance apart or a little bit wider, if that feels better for the back. We're going to reach the arms up overhead and take a nice, big, giant stretch. As we inhale, fingertips are going to reach towards the back of the mat. As we exhale, we're just going to reach them forward and begin to draw the low belly in towards the spine. Again, inhale, arms are going to reach back, nice big stretch. As we exhale, low belly draws in as we bring the hands down towards the floor. 2 more times here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, arms come down. Last time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, arms reach down. And then from here, keep the arms down, bring the knees in towards your chest. Again, making sure that the hips are still on the floor. Now here's where we're going to draw the inner thighs towards one another. You can imagine that you have a block in between the legs and you're squeezing it. Or you can also just bring your hands in between your thighs and squeeze your hands. So our inner thigh muscles are turning on and our low belly. So those deep low belly muscles, your transverse abdominals, are engaged. All right, from here we're just going to lift up our head, our neck, and our shoulder blades off the mat. If this feels too intense, you're going to lower it down a little bit. So still squeezing the inner thighs in, drawing that low belly in towards the spine. And breathe. One more breath here, drawing all of your muscles in towards the midline. And then we're going to release the upper body down. We're going to grab a hold of our strap or whatever you have here, maybe a belt. We're going to wrap it around the ball of your right foot. So slowly we're going to draw that right knee in towards our chest, and we're going to begin to lengthen the right leg towards the sky. If the right knee is bent, no problem. You're all good. Again, make sure hips are still rooted into the floor. From here, we're going to slide that left leg down the mat as far as it wants to go. Now, if the hips feel tight, they may want to pull on the lower back. I want you to draw the low belly in, draw your left thigh towards your right thigh, and breathe. You want to make sure that there's still space between the lower back and your mat. Relax your jawbone, everyone. Relax your shoulders. Both right and left leg are engaged. Both feet are flexed. One more breath, everyone. And then slowly release it down. We'll come to the other side. So strap wraps around the ball of the left foot now. We're going to press the left foot into the strap. Again, it's totally fine if that left knee stays bent. Hips are still on the floor. I'm going to slide my right leg down the mat. And my thighs are drawing in towards one another. So I'm not letting my right hip and my right foot open out to the side, but I'm keeping it parallel to the floor. Return to that 3-dimensional breath. So can we still breathe forward, side, and back? One more breath, everyone. And then you can remove the strap. We'll draw both knees in towards our chest, nice and easy. Maybe rocking from side to side, giving the lower back a bit of a massage. And let's roll over onto our right side. Use your hands to press yourself up to seated. Now here's a place where you might want to sit up on your pillow or blanket, whatever you have around. If you're sitting a little hunched here, yeah, see that my hips are coming forward? That's when you know you want to sit up on something so that you can sit up tall. All right, so bringing the hands to the thighs. Take a moment to find stillness here. So we're all lined up, right? Our head is right over our chest and our chest is over our pelvis. Shoulders are relaxing down away from the ears. And I am drawing my low belly in slightly to support my lower back. Come back to that 3-dimensional breath, breathing forward, side, and back. And then we'll release the arms down by our side. So these are our mountain pose arms. Shoulders are rolling back, elbows are back, elbow creases are forward. So we can open up through the chest. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. As you exhale, bring your hands to heart center. 2 more times. Inhale, arms sweep up, stretch through your spine, ground down through your hips. Exhale, hands to heart center. 1 more time, everyone. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Keep the hands at your chest for a moment. Feel the fingertips touch. Take a nice inhale through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. All right, let's make our way onto all fours. So coming onto hands and knees. So first, I just want you to think about the arms for a second. So I'm pressing my hands into the mat. I'm pressing my arms straight. Now look down and notice, are your elbows out to the side? If they are, I want you to draw the elbows back. Elbow creases, so these are my elbow creases, are facing forward. So the arms are acting as pillars here to support the upper body. Back of the neck is long. And my spine here is level, so it's mimicking the shape that my back was when I was lying down on the floor. We're going to flex the feet, beginning to get a nice stretch through the foot here. From here, I'm going to come into our cat pose. So I'm going to draw my chest up. My tailbone's going to drop down. My head is relaxed down in between my shoulders. And for your cat pose, I want you to imagine your shoulders are actively spreading away from one another. Your belly's drawing up. See how it feels to point your feet. Maybe you like that, maybe you don't. So just find feet that work for you. And then instead of coming into a huge cat pose, I'm just going to draw my shoulders down and open up through my head and my chest. But notice that I'm not taking this huge curve in my lower back. Try that again. So coming back into cat pose, I'm going to draw my pelvis underneath me. I'm going to soften my rib cage, relax my head. I'm actively pressing through my arms. So if your arms feel tired, you're doing the right thing. On your next exhale, we'll do the reverse. So shoulders drop back, head lifts forward, getting a really small arch through the spine. Last time, press into the hands. Come up to your cat pose. Shoulders drawing away from one another. And then come back through center. Let's take a break here. So coming down and just shake out the hands for a moment. Circle through the wrists. And then we'll come back to all fours. So again, pressing strongly down through the hands. We're going to step the right leg straight back behind us. And I'm going to turn around so you can see my right hip better. So my right hip is not opening out to the side. It's in line with my left hip. From here, I'm going to press my right foot back and I'm going to press my hands forward so I'm getting a really nice stretch through my right calf muscle. My belly is still drawing in and up. And then I'm going to inhale, draw my knee towards my nose. This is our cat pose. I'm really curving my spine. As I exhale, my right leg's going to come back. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, curve through your spine. Belly draws up. Exhale, lengthen. Last time, inhale, knee draws in. Exhale, we lengthen. This time, knee draws in and I'm going to bring my foot in between my hands. So this is a low lunge, but notice that my legs are making a square shape, so I'm not going super deep here. If you need more stability, I want you to flex your back foot. Draw your right hip back. Lengthen through your spine. If it's suitable for you today, I want you to walk your hands up your legs. If you prefer hands on the ground, you stay right on the ground. All right, from here, I'm drawing my right hip back and my left hip forward. So essentially, just my hips are level with one another. Now notice that if you draw the left glute, your left butt cheek essentially, underneath you, you're going to get a really nice stretch through the front of the left hip. All right, let's reach the arms up towards the sky. Imagine the sun just beating down on your chest. Relax the shoulders. And breathe, everyone. I'm really planting my right foot down on the ground. And if you're like, whoa, my balance is really wobbly and you want to hold on to a wall, that's a great option. One more breath, everyone. And then as you exhale, you're just going to bend at the hips. You're going to bring the hands back to the floor. You're going to bring your right knee underneath you. And we're going to come to the other side. So now we're going to step the left leg back behind us. Again, that left hip is still in line with the right. I'm going to draw my low belly in to protect my lower back. And then I'm going to press my left foot back. And I'm going to press my hands forward at the same time. Getting a nice stretch through that left calf muscle. Notice if your shoulders are coming up towards the ears. See if you can release them down. And then from here, left knee's going to draw in towards the nose. This is your cat pose. Exhale, left leg steps back. Inhale, left knee comes in. Exhale, lengthen long. One more time, inhale. Exhale, lengthen. This time, inhale, left knee draws in and up, and we're going to plant the left foot in between the hands. So just take a moment here to get situated. Really spread through the left toes. Make sure that the left foot is not directly in front of the right. But each leg, each foot is on separate train tracks. The legs are making a nice square. I'm going to come onto my fingertips and begin to lengthen through my spine. Can we breathe here? Can we release any tension in your jawbone and your shoulders? If you want more stability here, you're going to flex through your back foot. And then if you'd like, walk the hands up the thighs. Remember, you always have the option to stay down on the ground. From here, left hip draws back, right hip draws forward. I'm going to engage through my right glute so I feel an opening through the front of my right hip. Reach arms up overhead, take up space here, relax the shoulders. Imagine sun beating down on your chest. My hips are still drawing in towards one another. One more breath here, everyone. Inhale. And as you exhale, bend at the hips, lower the hands down to the floor. Bring your left knee underneath you. We're going to set ourselves up for downward facing dog. So for down dog, the wrists are slightly in front of the shoulders. Check out your hands. Make sure every single fingertip is down on your mat. Your index finger knuckle is grounding into the earth. Untuck your toes, press into your hands, and begin to lift your hips high to the sky. So we're essentially making an inverted V shape with our body. Now you'll notice that my knees are bent. There's no need to straighten them right now. I'm pressing down and away from the floor with my arms, and I'm lifting my hips up towards the sky. Take 2 more deep breaths here, everyone, making sure that your hands are still connected to the ground and you haven't started to peel your fingertips off the mat. One more nice deep breath, everybody, breathing forward, side and back. And then bring your knees down to the floor, and we're going to make our way onto our bellies. So if your lower back is tight, this might feel uncomfortable. So I want you to widen your legs as much as you need to so that you feel comfort in the low back. Forehead's going to come to the mat, and your hands are going to come in line with your rib cage. Pin your elbows in towards one another and feel your hands on the floor. Now to protect our lower back here, I'm going to press my pelvis into the mat, draw my hips in towards one another. Inhale, you're going to peel the upper body off the mat. This is cobra pose. Notice I'm not going really high here. I'm still grounding my hips down into the floor. Exhale, release. Try that again. So inhale, press your hands into the floor. Draw the pelvis down. Squeeze the hips in towards one another. And exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release it down. Press into your hands. And you're going to press yourself back up to all fours. Okay. From here, check out where your hands are. And then drop your elbows right where the hands are. This is forearm plank. So that's where we're coming. If you would feel more stable clasping the hands, especially if the shoulders feel tight, then you can do that as well. All right, so my elbows are in line with my shoulders here. Now this is our super strengthener for today, is forearm plank. So my low belly is going to draw in. I'm going to step my right foot back. I'm going to step my left foot back. Here I am. I'm going to press into my forearms. I'm going to lengthen through the front of my hips. I'm squeezing my hips together. Super strong, low belly's engaged. See if you can draw the inner thighs towards one another. Lengthen through your spine and breathe. If at any point you need to drop to the knees, go for it. That's okay. This is your practice. Last breath, everyone. And then drop the knees to the floor. We'll come into Sphinx. So you may need to inch your elbows a little bit farther forward. So we'll all be slightly different here, but we're propping ourselves up onto our forearms. Now keep engaging through the belly. Draw the shoulders back. So this is about getting a stretch for the upper back. Really trying not to get into the lower back here. And if you're like, oh boy, that really hurts my lower back, you're going to inch your elbows out even farther forward. If you're like, nope, don't feel it at all, elbows are going to come underneath the shoulders. Press hands into the floor. Nice deep breaths here. Last breath, everyone. And then slowly release it down. Bring your hands back in line with the rib cage. Press yourself up to all fours. And then let's take a child's pose. So child's pose is really dependent on your body. Some people love to have the knees together here. Other people really like to have the knees out wide. So find what works for you. You can make a pillow with your hands. You can reach the arms forward. Or you can reach the hands towards the feet. Your choice. See if you can relax the muscles that we just used. So can you relax the belly here? Can you relax your thighs? Shoulders just hang forward. One more breath, everyone. And then let's roll up our spine, and we're going to make our way back to seated. Again, if you sat up on a pillow or a blanket the first time, go right ahead and sit back up on that support. Again, take a moment to feel your pelvis rooted down into the floor. We're going to find a nice easy twist now. So we're going to twist to the right. Left hand comes towards the right knee. My right hand's going to come to the floor. Notice I'm not cranking my spine back. Your hips are allowed to move here. They do not have to stay solid forward. Return to your breath, breathing forward, side, and back, everyone. And then on your exhale, come to center, change sides. Right hand comes to left knee. Left hand is on the floor, nice and easy here, not cranking the spine. Return to your breath. Good, and then come back to center. We're going to make our way onto our backs. Coming back down to where we started. So setting yourself back up on the middle of your mat. We're going to draw the right knee back in towards our chest. We're going to lengthen the left leg long. Notice if this position feels any different now than from when we started class. So we're going to come into a twist. Now, for me, when I twist, I need to send my hips over to the right so that my right hip is directly on top of my left. So I'm going to kind of inch my hips over to the right, and then I'm going to draw my right knee over to the left. I'm going to bend my right elbow and take goalpost arms. If you're like, no way, that's way too intense for my shoulder, you can take your pillow and you can rest your right arm on the pillow. So what I don't want here is a huge stretch for your lower back. You want to make sure that right hip is right over the left, and really I'm stretching more through my rib cage and my shoulders. And also, of course, my right outer hip. See if you can find some ease here as you breathe. One more breath here, everyone. And then come back to center. Set yourself back up in the middle of your mat. And then bring your left knee in towards your chest. Stretch through the right leg. And by the way, if you're doing this without a mat and you're just on the floor, that's okay too. You could be doing this on a blanket or a towel. All right, now we're going to twist to the other side. So I'm going to shift my hips over to the left slightly. I'm going to draw my left knee over to the right. My left arm is going to come into cactus or goalpost arms. But again, if this feels really tight on the left shoulder, then use a pillow to prop up the arm. So I'm getting this stretch through the upper and middle back, not the lower back. One more breath here, everyone. Good, and then we're going to come back to center and finish out class today with Shavasana, which is just a final resting pose. So your final resting pose should feel really comfortable to you. So knees can be bent or legs can be straight. But for some people, legs straight doesn't feel good for the spine. So find the most comfortable position for yourself to end class this morning. Close your eyes. Feel your muscles relaxing. Feel your jawbones softening. Take these last couple breaths for yourself. And allow yourself to do nothing at all. It's very rare that we have this opportunity in our day to do absolutely nothing. So be present in this moment. Good. And then when you're ready, we're just going to end class today by coming back to a seated position. But if you want to stay here for a couple more minutes, just stay here. So wherever you are, just bring your hands to heart center. We end class this way to honor ourselves for being here, for showing up, taking some time out for yourself so that you can better serve everyone else around you. Namaste, everyone. Thanks so much.